Hello movie fans, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. Let's dive into all the movie news we got to discuss here today. Some of the stuff we're going to be talking about here is we finally have a director for the live action Hercules movie, an update on Venom 3 letting us know that movie is still up and coming, a prequel comic for the Flash movie showing us a different suit for Ben Affleck's Batman, that along with so much more. So I'm going to need you guys to give me your opinions with everything we discuss here today. Always great to hear your guys' input, and I am right now debating whether to make a spoiler review talking about the twist in Lightyear. So if you guys would be interested in me talking some spoilers for Lightyear, let me know down below and I might just make that because I got a theory about that ending. But starting things off here with a new MCU Disney Plus show, one of the millionth that they've already announced, we have here the Hollywood Reporter letting us know that Marvel is developing Wonder Man series with Destin Daniel Cretton and Andrew Guest. Now this is the director of Shang-Chi who'll be bringing this to us, and Wonder Man is a character I'm not that familiar with, but the things I do know about him: super powerful guy, is an actor on Earth, has had a relationship with the Scarlet Witch, and even some connections to Vision. I'm sure there'll be a lot of you out there who have a better idea of Wonder Man, especially since early on in the MCU he was set to cameo in one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He was going to be played by Nathan Fillion. I don't think they'll do that now. But one of the main reasons I want to bring this up is because it's starting to feel like a huge oversaturation of these Disney Plus shows. I was never one who really bought into that nonsense that people were saying, that it's like, oh my god, I'm tired of superhero movies. The MCU is oversaturating. There's too much content. I always was like, what? No, bring it on. All this stuff is quality. I'm having fun with it. And for the most part, while I'm enjoying their Disney Plus series, I always seem to be underwhelmed and let down by the finale. Pair that up with the fact I really don't have an urge to rewatch any of those Disney Plus series. I'm starting to maybe lean on that side of like, is this a little too much? Do we care? I think I'll care more when these heroes show up in the actual movies, but then that's a whole nother debate in itself where you have to now see these Disney Plus shows to understand the movies, like Doctor Strange 2. So honestly, I'd be lying to you if I said, oh, I'm excited for this, I can't wait to check it out, wonder who's gonna play Wonder Man, what he has to do in the MCU. I'm honestly gonna wait and see what the footage looks like, what the premise is, how this connects to the MCU. For right now, okay, another Marvel superhero show coming. Let me know if some of y'all are thinking like me or you feel the opposite and are just excited either way. Now, probably something I know we're gonna differ on is another Disney live action remake and why I'm hyped. We have here Deadline letting us know that Aladdin director Guy Ritchie teams with Disney and Agabo on live action Hercules. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm insanely hyped for this live action Hercules movie. I mean, okay, Hercules was one of those movies I saw as a kid and immediately became super obsessed with. Some of the earliest memories in my life was having Hercules bed sheets, Hercules toys, watching that movie on a loop day after day. I literally love this movie and hold it in such a special place in my heart, so I'm kind of really wanting to see what they would do with a live action version. And with Guy Ritchie attached as director, I think he's a solid choice. I know some people weren't a fan of the live action Aladdin, but I thought he did some good stuff with it. I'm also a fan of the other films he's put out lately. But the reason I also feel like this Hercules movie is different than a lot of these other live action Disney remakes is because they're not necessarily trying to remake the original animated movie. The Russo brothers, who are attached to this, and producers have already come out and said before that they're taking that original animated movie as inspiration. They're not going to try and copy exactly what we saw there, instead just taking elements and creating something new in the same vein. And that to me already makes it different, because this isn't then a live action Disney remake, it's just a live action Disney interpretation. All that's really left now is to see who are they going to cast as Hercules, okay? We've heard people say like Michael B. Jordan. My pick would be Taron Egerton. I think he would really fit that role, but I'm down to see anybody as long as they capture the mannerisms of Hercules. But this is where I throw it off to you guys. Are you as excited as me for a live action Hercules? Or if you're someone who's not a big fan of the original animated movie, do you even care? Something that was kind of nice to hear about over the week is we have Sony making progress on their live action One Punch Man movie. Now, if you don't know about One Punch Man, it's an anime that basically works as a satire for superheroes. Saitama was just your regular average dude, and one day he just decided to train super hard, becoming one of the most powerful superheroes that could defeat anybody with one punch. But also because of this, he just grew bored with being a superhero and is always looking for a challenge slash a foe that he can't defeat in one punch. It's honestly a great little watch. I'm a fan of it. So here it was announced that Justin Lin, the man who recently left Fast and Furious Furious 10, aka Fast X, has been hired to direct the One Punch Man movie for Sony, and you know what? That's a great choice. Making like half the Fast and Furious movies, he's very capable of these big action films. So visually, I know this movie will most likely work. Now it'll just be about if the story can meet the quality of the visuals. Come to think about it, it's almost like the video game curse. There's like 0 animated movies in live action form that have done the series justice. I can't really think of any in my mind. But I know we have other ones in the works, like the My Hero Academia one. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with that. And if these two work out, Disney technically owns the rights now to a live action Dragon Ball Z movie. I want it, man. It can't be worse than Evolution, right? So last question we gotta ask ourselves is Justin Lin gonna cast Vin Diesel as One Punch Man? I throw it off to you guys. What do you think about Justin Lin being the director for the live-action One Punch Man movie? Something you can categorize in the poorly time revealed things is this new prequel cover for the upcoming Flash movie. Now, at least this is the first time we can talk about an update on the Flash that isn't about pure controversy. But with everything surrounding Ezra Miller, you gotta admit it's kind of funny that this is the cover they decided to release of Barry Allen butt booty naked trying to squeeze into his suit. Even more funny when you realize Andy Muschietti, the director of the Flash, is the one who drew this. But putting all that aside, a lot of fans looked at this comic cover that was officially drawn by the director and saw in the back Ben Affleck's Batman that has a blue cowl and cape, letting us know, oh my god, are they gonna give Ben Affleck the blue and gray suit? Yes, please. We've already gotten set photos before of Ben Affleck's Batman, and it kind of just seemed like his basic suit still in black and whatnot. But with CGI and enhancements, they could make the suit a little blue. It does even have kind of like a blue tint to it in some of these photos. With this set to be one of the last Ben Affleck Batman appearances, and we won't really be seeing this version of Batman for who knows how long, I think it'd be kind of nice to send him off in the blue and gray suit. Something that I think Hollywood is scared to try out just because they love making Batman so dark and brutal. It wouldn't make sense for him to wear a blue suit. And Andy Muschietti seems to be bringing a lot more fun to this movie, and heck, it would be kind of fun to see Ben Affleck in that suit. So yeah, there's one update on The Flash where we're not talking controversy. Does that make you excited for a possible blue Ben Affleck suit? Or do you think the director was just having fun drawing this cover and it doesn't reflect the movie?
A few moments later.
I spoke too soon on the controversies. Right when I finish editing this episode of Side Flick for you guys, more details have come out on the Ezra Miller situation. The first thing that came out is concerning the comic book cover that we just talked about here, and that DC Comics will be pulling that comic book cover and no longer releasing it due to recent events. You have to think, with the way printing and comics work, that Andy Muschietti, the director, drew that image of a half-naked Barry Allen a long time ago, and now with a lot of the unsettling allegations towards Ezra Miller, they just didn't think it was in good taste to release it, so don't expect to see that on the shelves anymore. And then second, Deadline dropped an article with a more reassuring look to what Warner Brothers will be doing with Ezra Miller, and it looks like, yup, they are gone. Specifically here in the article, they say, Deadline has heard the studio has tried getting help for Miller, but the troubling headlines continue to pile up. Could you send a potential liability on a global publicity tour and have the actor anchor a huge studio franchise play? Continuing on, there is no winning in this for Warner Brothers, one studio source tells us. This is an inherited problem for Zaslav. The hope is that the scandal will remain at a low level before the movie is released, and hope for the best to turn out. In Zaslav's plan to make DC an explosively successful division like Marvel under this newly structured studio with its own new boss, the non-binary identified Miller, we hear is simply not part of those plans going forward in the future universe, regardless if there are more allegations or not. Pretty much reassuring and confirming what we've known all along. After the Flash movie, there will be no more Ezra Miller in the DCEU. And that really shouldn't be a surprise. With all the allegations, headlines, arrests, there was just no way it was safe to keep Ezra Miller on. The only thing now that the article does mention is they have no idea how Warner Brothers plans to market The Flash with Ezra Miller being their main star. Because again, they're not going to reshoot the movie, they're not going to cancel the film, they're still going to release this thing whether in theaters or on HBO Max. But they just don't know, how do we show a trailer for this? How do we do interviews with the cast? What do we put on the poster if we can't put Flash himself? Many fan theories think that by the end of the Flash movie, they'll do something where they just replace Ezra Miller and introduce the new Flash actor and just explain that something happened in the Speed Force, it changed their face, bada boom, bada bing, we move on. That's remained to be seen. I think in the next coming months, it's going to be so interesting to see how they handle marketing the Flash, but just know, no matter what it is, Ezra Miller is for sure gone now. What do you guys think about this update concerning the Flash, and how do you think they should market the movie? Now, something else that happened over the weekend is we got our first tease for Venom 3, hopefully titled Let There Be Morbs.
Have sex, except my answer yes.
Intriguing.
Tom Hardy, who plays Eddie Brock in the Venom movies, took to his Instagram to show this photo of him about to read the script for Venom 3, and even on his story, he added some words saying this is the last dance, hinting this will be the last time we get to see Tom Hardy's Venom in his own solo Venom movie. And look, I think it's no secret we were obviously going to get a third Venom film. These Venom movies just make absolute bank at the box office. It would be kind of dumb of them not to do it, but I'm also like, what are you gonna do with this third movie that isn't Venom vs. Spider-Man that would get me interested in wanting to see this? Because I've been honest with you guys before, the first Venom movie, I just found okay. I wasn't that big of a fan with it. And the second Venom movie, I had to see it. Carnage was in it, and as a lifelong Spider-Man fan, I've always wanted to see Carnage. And I had fun with it, but at the end of the day, it was still an okay movie. So with this third one, with no Spider-Man, no Carnage, what could you be introducing in here that would make me go, give me all the tickets in the world? Because it's just really funny they set up that whole post-credit scene teasing, oh, Venom and Spider-Man, they're gonna fight, and then one movie later, Spider-Man No Way Home erased that possibility. We did have the director of Morbius talking about how Sony plans to introduce their Sony Universe Spider-Man that we're hearing isn't gonna be Toby or Andrew, so maybe that's who we'll see. Then again, Morbius is in the Venom universe. Could we see a little fight between them? Would we even care for that? Like, I really don't know. I'll have to wait and see what the story is before I get too excited. I want to know from you guys, what could happen in Venom 3 that doesn't include Venom versus Spider-Man that would hype you for it? There's definitely a possibility it could be Venom versus Spider-Man, but I think it's highly unlikely and we need to prepare ourselves for a different story. Bringing us to another update involving the Pennywise prequel coming to HBO Max titled Welcome to Derry. Now, all the updates we've been getting so far with this Pennywise prequel is that it's something they want to do, but it was never officially going through. We first heard about it with Variety saying that Warner Brothers was interested in doing this, and then Stephen King also came out and said that director Andy Muschietti had like a handshake deal with Warner Brothers to do it, also that Stephen King has no interest in being involved, so it was never really that concrete, but now it looks like they're officially putting their money where their mouth is, because we have here a tweet from one of the writers on the Welcome to Derry show letting us know, first day of Welcome to Derry writers room, we float down here. This is the progress we want to see for this actually becoming a thing. Now we could get this show in like a year and a half if they like what the writers produce, and I'm hoping they do. But speaking on what the writers could produce, we know the story will be about the first time Pennywise comes to Earth, and then Pennywise slowly deciding to become a clown as his torture of choice, where he goes ahead and eats little kids. Now, if you're a big Stephen King fan or a fan of Pennywise and you know his whole backstory and origin involving a space turtle, I do wonder what route the writers room are going to take. Are they going to go a little more simple with it and just have him be this shape-shifting, ambiguous monster that's going after people in the early 50s? Or will they actually go crazy with it and try and explain the space turtle, really go crazy with some of those Stephen King-isms? And I'm gonna go with no. I know some Stephen King fans are gonna hate that, but I think any writer other than Stephen King would have a hard time trying to make that work in the show. I'd kind of rather just see a little more simple story of Pennywise set in the 50s hunting down a new group of kids or adults or teenagers. Still, that's just me. I'm willing to hear what you fans think should be the premise of the show and what direction they should take. Are you excited that the Pennywise prequel series is finally officially being written and is moving forward? But that is all the movie news I currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.